Got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
It is overtime, everybody, for Emerald Water. Darren DuPont here, and our good friend Winston Chapman, clearly a big fan of the Saskatchewan Rattlers. Quick wardrobe switch. I like it. How you doing, Winston?
Good. Thanks again for having me on, Rob.
My pleasure. Before we jump into why Winston's here and a little more with Dupes, sports on tap for a Tap Brewhouse and Liquor Store, just as we always do here in the overtime segment. Some of our favorite results in leagues. In the dub last night, Darren called with less the Blades 4-3 winner over the Victoria Royals in overtime at SaskTel Center. How did Braden Tracy look, by the way?
He's good.
He looked good?
He's a good player. Oh, yeah.
The Oil Kings beat Brandon 6-2. Medicine Hat over Swift Current 7-0. And Seattle down Tri-City 4-2. On tap tonight in the dub, Prince Albert, the Victoria Royals are coming there. Winnipeg Ice at Calgary, Brandon Wheat Kings at Red Deer, and Spokane at Kamloops. In the SJ last night, Kindersley beat Humboldt 3-2. Melfort down Weyburn 4-1. Nipawin over Estevan 4-3. Tonight, Estevan at Flin Flon. That's the furthest southern team facing the furthest northern team. Estevan at Flin Flon tonight, and Weyburn at Larange. And 6 games in the NHL tonight, including the big one, Battle of Alberta, Calgary at Edmonton. We talked a lot about it today. If you missed it, go back and listen to our chats with Rich Sutter, Donnie Hewitt, the Duke. It's been fantastic. Nelson Hakowicz in with breaking news. Edmonton Eskimos have signed former Rider receiver Kenny Shaw. So there's some breaking news out of the CFL there. Not as salacious as yesterday's news that the Bombers released Matt Nichols, which we didn't really get into a ton today. And that's fine. Breaking news out of the Manitoba Junior League for our Manitoba viewers. MJHL announcing President Kim Davis stepping down at the end of the season. Taking over, Kevin Shooter Surratt. He's a former Pat and a good friend of mine.
Wow.
They were all just here for the showcase. Did you see Shooter?
Yeah.
He was the guy in the black all the time.
Yeah.
The good-looking blonde kid. And he used to play for the Pats. Kevin Shooter Surratt.
He's built for being the politician of the league.
He is. Good for you, Shooter. I mean, you sit in the front of a bus. He was right behind me for a year as a rookie. You get to know somebody.
Yeah.
So, Kim Davis, if this is good for you, Kim, congratulations. 18 seasons as the commissioner, passing the torch to Kevin Surratt. So there's some news there in the junior world. All right, Winston Chapman's here, along with Dupes. Winston, how should I introduce you?
Well, I wanted to talk about one of the training camps that I've started.
I know, but before that, what should people know about you? I said to the guys, we got a guy coming in here. He's a savant. He's a prodigy. Was that yesterday that I said that? A prodigy.
Yeah.
A child prodigy. That's what Winston Chapman did. Everybody knows Winston's podcast, the One-on-One podcast. Maybe I'll start there. Off the top of your head, tell our viewers who you've interviewed for the Winston One-on-One podcast.
I've interviewed Matt Dunnigan, Chris Jones, Mike Riley, just to name a few. And I've talked to them about what it takes to be successful in football and in life. And
Mike Riley, Angus Reid, Kahari Jones, John Ryan, Noah Picton, Brett Jones, I think. Brett Jones.
Trevor Harris.
And the coolest story out of all that is that you literally couldn't get Dunnigan off the phone. He won't return our messages. But Dunnigan, you're like, Matt, I got to go. Right?
Yeah. We were on the phone for 2 hours that day, and he ended up apologizing for taking that time for me on my Easter break. And I was like, I couldn't have spent it any better.
On the phone with Matt Dunnigan.
Yeah.
He wouldn't shut up. Won't return. I'm saying that, not you.
That's
Don't worry.
cool.
We're good.
Yeah.
So that's that. And you're also, I mean, you look 23, not 13. You've been eating your Wheaties, obviously. We've got on the wall here, one of the guys put it up, I think it's Clark, Winston Chapman, 13-year-old quarterback camp host. So that would be the latest thing.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
I partnered with Campbell and Halliburton to start my own free quarterback training program. And it's the first of its kind because I'm going to be training both the parent and the player. And the reason for that is because I've been to a lot of camps in Regina and Saskatchewan, and they'd show me how to do a 3-step drop properly and show me how to throw with proper mechanics. But I could be doing something completely wrong because I didn't have body awareness. And I didn't see that until I watched the film with my dad, or I started training one-on-one with Noah Picton. So I think that having your parents there with you, they're going to be able to give you feedback on your body mechanics, but then they're going to be able to become a personal coach for you on the side too, which is where you're going to get the most benefit.
Pretty cool, Darren. What do you think?
That's super cool.
He's 13.
That's super cool. So when's the camp?
We're starting on February 16th over at the Soup Kitchen around here. And I'm super looking forward to it.
All right. So Campbell and Halliburton, we got to give them a shout out because when you and I met, from Tori Gurley to Winston Chapman, I spend time with people, right? We were talking about this. I said, well, you're going to need sponsors. Well, you knew you needed sponsors.
Yeah.
And Campbell and Halliburton stepped up. So we should say thanks to them.
You know what? I wouldn't be here today, and this camp wouldn't be on without the help of Campbell and Halliburton. I just wanted to say a shout out to them, and I wouldn't be here today without them.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think it's important that parents get involved in this? Because, Darren, we've been around sports our whole lives. It's not very often the parent is part of a camp.
No,
right?
Usually it's the opposite. You want to separate the parent because they can be overbearing, and
right.
You got to do this, and you know what I mean, and let the coaches deal with it. So where do the parents come in? I like this.
Well, one of the things I've found is that in order to be successful as a quarterback, your parent has to be super involved at a young age. My dad was super involved with me when I started playing football when I was 7. And Kahari Jones on my podcast talked about how his dad was super involved with him. And then when Noah Picton was training for the Argos camp, he talked about how he was training with his dad. So I sort of put this together about my journey and some of the other people that I've known and how they've become successful and got to the next level.
That's cool.
There's the answer to the question, why the parents are involved. And it is good. You always hear, like you say, that it's a bad thing, parental involvement. And Winston, you're saying you wouldn't have got this far without it.
For sure.
Right? And the one thing I should tell people is when we met at Boston Pizza, you said, I want to help others.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason you're doing this.
Yeah. Well, I've realized that I wouldn't be where I am today without you and some of the other coaches that have helped me out so much in this community. And I wouldn't have had the opportunities to be where I am. So I wanted to give 4 kids in the community this opportunity to get better and up their game and really excel at the next level. One of the things I was talking to my dad about was it would be a dream come true if I was able to coach the next Canadian quarterback. So
maybe that'll be you, because I told you, don't give up on you being the next Canadian CFL quarterback. You haven't, right?
For sure. I'm just trying to give back to all the things that I've learned, just about goal setting, doing rituals, having visualization, and like having mental toughness to help you get through the game.
Perfect.
Where are you at in your football career? So what's next? What are you training for this season?
Well, I'm hoping to start at Miller next year in grade 9, and I was just the leading passer in Pee Wee for the past 2 seasons. Actually, I passed for 1,100 yards and 19 touchdowns on 0 interceptions, and I've been training with Noah Picton for 3 years now.
Coaches love that. Protect the football. I like
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
0 picks.
Know where you're putting it. Winston, where can people sign up for your camp or get for more information?
You can message me on my Instagram at Winston1on1 or email me at winston.t.chapman@gmail.com and just send me a few messages about why your son or daughter would like to be involved in this program.
Winston one-on-one on Instagram. And what's the email again?
Winston.t.chapman@gmail.com.
There you go. Clark, can you put up who our guests are tomorrow, if you don't mind, before we roll? Anything else, Winston, before we let you rock and roll?
No, thanks for having me on, Rod.
You betcha, buddy. And by the way, this is mostly, Darren, for my wife, who just before we go to sleep every night says, who's on your show tomorrow? And I always say, I don't remember. So if this is for Cindy, can you let her know who is going to be on the show? What I do is I get up in the morning and I check that board on Instagram to see who we got coming on the show. On the story, or Clark will have posted it to the show Instagram feed. That's how I prepare for the show. But my wife, God bless her, wants to know more than I do. So here we go. tomorrow. Jason Strudwick, longtime NHL veteran of the Oilers, the Islanders, the Canucks. He'll be on with a recap of tonight's Battle of Alberta. That should be fun. Our hockey analyst, Jared Dumba. Jeff Ulmer of the Arizona Coyotes, skills coach of the Arizona Coyotes. Jeff Ulmer will be with us from Scottsdale. The Bandit, Daryl Rommel from CTV Regina. And former Regina Pats captain and NHL first rounder, Colton Tubert. Sounds like a hockey day to me.
Yeah.
All right. Winston, thank you for coming in, my friend.
Thank you, Rod. I was actually wondering, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
The 49ers. I'm with Tori on that.
Oh, man.
Right out of the gate. What do you mean, oh, man?
I hope you're wrong, because I made a push-up bet with my dad, and I'm not going to be wanting to do 200 push-ups on Sunday.
So you picked the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Okay. You and your dad should come down to our Super Bowl party. But kids are welcome at Ballers, by the way. Guys, think about it.
For sure.
We'll have a lot of fun. Okay, I guess we should roll, Darren, as much as I don't want to.
Looking forward to tonight.
Thanks for everything, everybody. We'll see ya 10 a.m. tomorrow right here on Facebook Live.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.